What is up, everybody? Today, we're going to do an episode called The Cobbler and the General, and I'm going to share a little bit of a quick story with you here. So, Mark Twain once told a story about a man searching for the world's greatest general. The man searched his whole life until one day he died and met St. Peter at the Pearly Gates. The man told St. Peter he was looking for the world's greatest general. Fortunately, St. Peter said he could help. He led the man to another inhabitant of heaven and introduced him as the world's greatest general. The man who had been searching replied, "That's not the world's greatest general. That man was a cobbler on Main Street in my hometown." St. Peter responded, "But had he been a general, he would have been the greatest general ever." Had he been a general, he would have been the greatest ever. This cobbler, this man, he decided that he was going to get on this path. He was going to be a cobbler. He was going to maybe follow in his parents' footsteps or his grandfather's footsteps or somebody else's footsteps, and the existence that he was looking to live in and to live out was going to be that of a cobbler. He didn't strive for more. He didn't go for more. He didn't have people around him telling him, "Hey, you have this great ability. You have this innate talent. You have this wonderful potential inside of you to go reach greater heights." He didn't want any of that. He accepted who he was, and he accepted his current being, and he just stayed there. And I think, I don't want to say the purpose of life, but in terms of finding some meaning in life, it's always about becoming something more than what you currently are. It's not to be always dissatisfied with your current state. You're allowed to be proud of yourself. You're allowed to be proud of the work that you do. But you could still become a better version of yourself one way or another. And I think this man, this cobbler, he lived an unsatisfied life. He lived a life that maybe lacked meaning because he didn't try to become who he could become. All right. So now, as we go about this, man, I always think back. There was no music in my childhood, right? And I would like tell people like, yeah, I'd probably be the greatest piano player ever if I did it, World will never know. I could have been the world's greatest, right? We'll never know that. I never played the piano really, other than tapping on the keyboard that we got up here trying to learn some children's songs so I could play Row, Row, Row Your Boat for my daughter, right? That's about my skill set right now. Had I been introduced at the age of 2, world class. Just kidding. But you get the point, right? We need to be exposed to certain things in order for us to kind of figure out if we're interested in that thing, right? So we need a wide variety of exposure. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to come from you. It's going to have to come from within if you're going to pursue this thing or not. Now, if you want to kind of be your own hero, right? If you want to kind of be your own general, there's a few ways that we could do that. You have to understand that nobody's going to come and do it for you, right? Nobody's going to come and save you. It's that story from the Bible, Noah and the ark, right? The flood's coming. There's a flood coming in everybody's life. Nobody's going to build that ark for you. You're going to have to build it for yourself. The second part is you want to associate with people who are going to encourage the greatness in you. All right? They're going to be asking more out of you. I have a perfect example of this person. I happen to live with her, and her name is Marisa, man. She always wants more from me, always. She knows I could do better. She thinks more highly of me than I think of myself, right? So you need to surround yourself with people like that. She's pulling it, no matter how much fight I give her, no matter how much pushback I give her on certain things, she's still trying to pull greatness out of me. And I appreciate that. And I hope she listens to this because I don't always tell her that inside there, right? But having those people like that, I was joking with somebody a couple weeks ago. We were on the edge, on the brink of total collapse in our personal life, right? That's where the conversation was going, and we were using the word teetering. And I'm like, believe me, I'm teetering, right? But you need those people there to keep you on the right path, right? To keep you on the right side of that. When you're teetering on the edge, you need positive people in your life that are going to encourage greatness out of you, okay? That's what we need to do. Surround yourself with those people. Lastly, man, we need to have the courage to take action. I think, understanding that it's all on you, right? You got to take ownership in everything that you're doing, right? You got to be like, nobody's coming for you, right? That's part one. Part two is surrounding yourself with great people. If you're able to do that and they keep with you, man, I think you're going to be able to build some courage and start taking the necessary steps needed to get on whatever path you want to get on, all right? It's, I'm reading this book, George Orwell's book, Keep the Aspidistra Flying, and in it there's a guy named Gordon Comstock where he's just accepting his fate. He's broke, he's a writer, he's a poet, he's got no money. He thinks money's at the root of all of his problems. He can't get the girl because he doesn't have money. He doesn't have friends because he doesn't have money to go out and do stuff. And, he is basically at war with money. And what that existence is leading is just following the same path that his ancestors followed. And he had, 12 or 13 aunts and uncles. He says no, they never did anything, and they never, their existence just kind of came and went. They made no impact on the earth, right? We do not want to follow Gordon Comstock's rule from the George Orwell book. We don't want to be the cobbler, right? Where you just do those the day-to-day activities without striving to become a better version of yourself. If we're searching for meaning, we need to become something, right? And we control that with that little thing between our ears, right? That brain of ours. We have to decide. We have to understand, number one, where we are, right? We have to have some sort of self-awareness. Nobody's going to be coming to help you. Nobody's going to be coming to save you. Nobody's going to build that ark for you, right? You're going to have to do this thing yourself. Surround yourself with great people that pull greatness out of you, and you will become, hopefully, or no, you'll take a step in the right direction. You might not become what you're striving to become, but you're at least stepping in that direction. And if you keep stepping time after time, you're going to get closer and closer to your ultimate goal, right? Hope you guys like this episode. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace, everybody.